This story is so cliche and ridiculous that no one ever believes it's real, except for those that were there. It was Halloween 2012, my senior year of high school. I went to a Catholic school, so we always had the day off after Halloween, because it's considered a church holy day, so my friends were game to start our weekend early. On nights where we didn't go to parties, we usually do the same thing. We'd sit on my front steps for a couple hours and joke around. Then we would walk the neighborhood and usually end up at this shitty pizza place across town because the prices were so cheap. Since a few of us had recently broken up with our girlfriends, we weren't much in a party mood, so we did our usual. It's around 10:30 at night and the pizza joint is closing up for the night. There were 3 of us, me, my friend Pat, and my friend Jack. We finish our food, refill our drinks, and head out. To get back to my house, we had to cross this large mall parking lot that's about 4 football fields long and 2 wide. I should mention at this point that we aren't dumb, naive kids. We all had grown up in the city and had our fair share of urban experiences. All 3 of us were pretty streetwise and were pretty confident on the street by ourselves. But we experienced something this night that we were totally unprepared for. So, we're walking through this parking lot and it's absolutely desolate, not a soul in sight. Suddenly, we see a white tradesman van creeping slowly behind us about 100 yards back. I know the old white van cliche, but I swear it's a real story. I point it out to my friends and we pick up our pace. We pop the collars on our jackets and hunch our shoulders forward to make us seem a bit larger than we are. In an instant, the van speeds up and cuts off our path. Everything in the van is pitch black, so we can't see any people. That's when someone calls out in a non-threatening voice, "Hey man, happy Halloween. You guys like Halloween?" Despite the jovial manner in which this was said, a van doesn't cut you off in a parking lot unless it has bad intentions. We had nowhere to go. We could run, but they're in a van. They would catch up to us easily, and we would have to turn our backs to them. He says it again, "Hey man, you guys like Halloween?" I respond trying to sound tough. "Yeah, but it's over now, so we're heading home and you're on our way." "Nah, dude, Halloween ain't over. We still got tons of candy in here." The tone suddenly shifted and still we can't see anyone in the van. The 3 of us puff out our chests and get ready for a fight. After a brief silence that felt like it dragged on for hours, Jack cuts the tension by sternly saying, "Listen, dickhead, I don't know what you think you're about to do, but if you don't leave, we're gonna kick your ass." Once he said that, the back door of the van swung open and 2 very tall men stepped out. They had black suits with black leather gloves and were well built and strong looking. But the most menacing thing is they were both wearing these cheap Mitt Romney masks. That's when we realized this wasn't a Halloween prank. At that moment, all 3 of us went to take off, but the van started driving circles around us. There was no place for us to go. We had no idea what we were going to do to get out of the situation. I have no idea what these guys were planning to do to 3 18-year-old men, but they seemed like they knew what they were doing, and we were all getting ready for the fight of our lives. The van stopped and it looked like they were about to make their move. This was it. I mentioned that there were 3 of us that night. It was at that moment my other friend Pat, the one that had stayed silent up to this point, leaned into both of us and said, "This is a Hail Mary, but get ready to fucking run when I say go, alright?" He then picked up one of our sodas and threw it with all of his might at the driver's side window. The window was open and the cup maliciously connected with the driver's head. Pat screamed, "Run!" and we took off across the parking lot. The van squealed off in the other direction and we hurried our asses home. Jack and I were confused as to why a simple cup of soda got them to give up on their plans. Then we found out what actually happened. While we were panicking, Pat kept his cool. He nonchalantly dumped out his drink and slipped a big-ass rock into his cup. Then he waited for the right moment. The driver, thinking that this kid had just thrown a drink at him, wound up getting pegged in the head with the rock. It probably knocked him out cold, or it at least bought us enough time to put some distance between us. All that was left after that was pulling off a miracle and getting the rock to hit. Maybe a guardian angel or God himself took care of that. I'm still amazed by it. Moral of the story, kids, don't panic when you're in a tough spot. If you lose your cool, you lose the fight.